So there was Psychology Today released an article in
Today?
No, it's called Psychology Today.
Oh.
It was released May 17th, 2024.
Oh, this is recent. Okay.
Yes. They're saying that letting babies cry it out is it's an idea that's been out since the 1880s when the field of medicine was underdeveloped. And they're saying that this idea was developed because there was not enough medicine and babies shouldn't be touched. There was that risk of infection and that you should leave babies alone. This is when it all originated. They're saying that there was, again, in the 20th century, was revisited again, saying that this is the method that is preferred and should be used. And there was actually pamphlets that were given out to parents that were...
the Gerber method. Sounds very medical.
They were saying that if a mother's arm is tired, she should immediately stop rocking the baby and put them down.
This is probably the same time when they coined that whole refrigerator mom business.
What is that?
In what was it, 50s, 60s, when they first started identifying autism.
Mm.
And they said that the reason why children develop autism is because they have a refrigerator mom, which is a cold mom, which is a mom that withholds affection and withholds warmness and feelings, and is always like, you stay there, I stay here, and is very rigid.
Yeah.
So because of that, children are starting to develop autism. So they kind of shamed moms who weren't exactly very
affectionate.
Mm-hmm. They shamed them, and they coined up this term refrigerator mom.
Oh, wow. Never knew about that.
Yeah. There's that book that I read. I mean, then they debunked it, but for the time being, a lot of moms had this self-hate.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah.
And they went to psychologists, and they would say yeah, because you're a refrigerator mom, and this happened because of you. Imagine the guilt.
Wow, that's crazy. Well, we've come a long way, but who knows? History does repeat itself, so it's gonna come out.
Not this.
It's gonna come out.
They can just go further.
Yeah. So, with the cry it out, there's still behaviorists who come out with it kind of seesaws back and forth. Some behaviorists are saying they encourage parents to condition the baby to expect that their needs are not going to be met right away, and that it's normal, and that you should be in charge of the relationship as a parent.
Probably like Skinner using the Skinner box on his own daughter,
I guess. And they're basically saying that, if you are kind of always giving into your child's needs, even when they're a baby, that it's going to foster a whiny, unhappy, aggressive, and demanding child who has learned nothing but to scream to get their needs met.
Mm-hmm.
This was caregivers who habitually respond to the needs of the baby before the baby gets distressed, preventing crying, are more likely to have children who are independent than the opposite, actually.
Mm-hmm.
This was a study that came out in 1994. And they're saying that soothing care is best from the outset, and once patterns of distress gets established, it's much harder to change them. So once a child feels like they're in distress, it's harder to get them out of that distress. Right. So that's the other side that are saying to respond to your baby's needs right away.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
Because they get to that, they cross that threshold, and that's it. It's just blank.
Yeah.
They're just yelling. They don't even hear you. They're not even processing. They're not even doing anything. They're just yelling because they've gotten to that point where nothing is going to help them.
Yeah.
There's no more
it's like hysteria.
Soothing. Yes, it's hysteria.
Yeah, personally also think, an infant, they're so small.
How are they supposed to help themselves?
Right. You can't. Now, if you have a tantruming toddler, preschooler.
Honestly, if the child is 2, they already know, they know the word no. They know the word stop. They have all these cue words where you can redirect them. But I'm sorry, a 3-month-old, what are you supposed to do? Just let them scream their heads off?
Yeah.
Because otherwise, they're going to think that you're coming to rescue them.
Yeah, right.
Feed them. Most babies, that's why they're crying. They're wet, they're hungry, or they're thirsty, or they're sleepy.
Or their stomach hurts.
Or their stomach hurts. Realistically, they're not trying to be terrible.
And then it would
be fun to get these 2 people from 2 different sides in one room. And just and like fireworks. Watch the fireworks happen.
Yeah, who wants to? Do we know anybody?
I don't know. We could do a little survey.
Yeah,
I'm sure we can find two people with opposing views.
Yeah, it's true.
And they could sit here and here, and then like they can like fireworks, and we can just watch.
Yeah,
what happens?
We should start call-ins for each side, and then see what our viewers think.
Exactly. We could go live and have people like tell us what they think, and then we can watch those fireworks.
Yes.
I'm just being very naughty today.
We should do it. I think it's a great idea
today.
I think it's a great idea. And then also stemming from, these are some controversial topics we're covering today. There's the topic of pacifiers. Some people say, like, don't give them at all.
Yeah.
Some people say give them.
See what your baby wants. I mean, if the baby doesn't want a pacifier, why would you stuff it in their mouth? If none of my children took a pacifier. Not a single one.
Yeah. I gave my son a pacifier because he wouldn't stop crying.
But they didn't, I gave it to them.
Oh, they spit it out?
They just threw them out, and they would never take it. When they were born, then I would give them to the nursery. They brought me back the babies with the pacifiers. I was like, okay, whatever. And then when I would bring the babies home, maybe like a day or two, on day 3, the pacifier was gone.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, even if they were to take the pacifier, they would scream with the pacifier in their mouth.
Yeah.
Just hang there.
Yeah.
And they were screaming.
Yeah.
It's not a soothing mechanism for my children at all.
Yeah.
But I know some children it is. And I know that, and then you have the whole thing of taking away the pacifier, which is another ordeal. So you have a whole thing of giving the pacifier.
Yeah.
And then you have to do the reverse.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, so I thought, like, I was like, they don't want it. They don't have to have it.
I gave, but I wouldn't say he was like on it like all day long. Like he wasn't that interested in it. And I mainly gave it for like nap time and bedtime. And then one day I came and I would keep like just pacifiers in his crib and he would just grab one if he wanted one. And when so it was like already like right before we transitioned him to sleep on his own, he just had a bunch of pacifiers and he just kept taking it out of his mouth and throwing it out of the crib. So I just took them all and threw them out. And that was it. He never, like, I had no issues with it. Yeah, I had no issues. But there's kids who have a need and they're like, could be older, 5 years old, and they still take a pacifier.
Yeah. And then you have the whole problem that after the pacifier, if you take the pacifier away and they still need to self-soothe, guess what's going in the mouth? The thumb.
Oh, yeah.
And then you have a whole bunch of adults sucking their thumb.
I guess maybe that's what it was with the
terrible.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was with the adults who are sucking on their thumbs.
And that corrodes your palate.
Yeah.
And your teeth.
Yeah.
Which is another terrible. So I would never force a pacifier.
Yeah.
I would never force a pacifier. If a child takes a pacifier, great. The minute they spit it out, I would never put it back.
Yeah.
Because you have like a cycle of events that come after.
I think it's like you have to catch it. You have to take it away at a specific like point, like a specific age before they realize what it is that they're using it for self-soothing.
Yeah.
Because when they're so small, they don't know. They're like, whatever, it's in their mouth. Yes, it's calming them down, whatever. But like once you get past that stage, it's almost like with sleep, right? When you're putting your kid to sleep. There's a specific time by which they have to, like with me, they have to be in bed, or it's that second wind, and then it's like disaster. So it's like almost like that. So if you don't catch it at the right time with the pacifier to take it away, you are going to struggle.
Yes.
And so like you need to find, and of course it's going to be different for every child, but I think like once your child is like actively taking it out of their mouth during nap and just throwing it, like hide it, take it away, throw it out.
They don't need it anymore.
Yeah.
They're taking it out themselves.
Yeah.
They don't need the self-soothing anymore.
Yeah. My son, the pacifier was fine. That was easy. I had a hard time getting him off of the baby bottle with milk.
Really?
He was like, he liked milk. He would drink it out of a straw cup.
Yeah.
But before bedtime, it was always a baby bottle. He had teeth. He was biting through them. And he would like want to just drink it. And that's how he would fall asleep.
Yeah, but that's how my daughter is. But I give her it in a sippy cup.
Yeah. He didn't want it out of a sippy cup. He would throw the sippy cup.
I threw all the bottles out.
Yeah. Well, I did too eventually. And then he just stopped drinking milk, and that was it.
She said there's no bottles.
Yeah.
It's like just a variety of different sippy cups.
I had also, and he would just refuse to drink milk out of anything besides a bottle. And then I was like, whatever, does he really need milk? He eats yogurt, he eats this, so we took away milk.
She takes milk before sleep.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Nap time, at nighttime, like she needs that bottle of milk and she asks for it.
Yeah.
So she goes, moko, moko.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she gets it in a sippy cup.
Yeah.
There's
No, it was
bottle.
like, he was like, I tried to take it away, and then I think it was like at 2 years old. That's when I got rid of the bottle. But it took a while. Like, you're supposed to get rid of it.
That also corrodes your palate.
Yes.
Those like nipple things.
But not even the nipple things. It was like later he had like cavities, and it was all because of that milk. Even like no matter how much, like they had those like wipes that you could wipe the teeth off after, but it doesn't do anything.
No.
Then we spent a pretty penny on his teeth.
The sippy cup is different.
Yeah.
It doesn't leave the film that the bottle does.
Yeah.
The bottles are gone.
Yeah.
Even if she wants it, she can't have it.
Yeah.
But she wants the milk more than she wants the bottle.
That's true. Yeah, I don't think for him it was the milk. I think it was like the nipple and that suction. Because like once I took away the bottle, he didn't even want the milk.
Correct.
That was it.
But she wants the milk. So
Yeah.
she gets it in a sippy cup.
Yeah.
That's why I always say you have to watch your baby.
Yeah.
To figure out what your baby wants.
Yeah, yeah.
My one fit all model.
That is true. That is very true.